some other time, we really don't care. We're publishing at noon Eastern. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, the Rant Network. That's David Solomon on one side. And let me tell you something. His mic has been repaired.
We hope.
So now we can hear him clearly, accurately, concisely. And so we can't let, the stutters, like that, got it, get in the way. But the biggest stutter of all is Russiagate. Why am I calling it Russiagate? Because the Democratic Party let out one of the most notorious anti-American death man out in exchange for an American who was arrested for drugs and was there only 8 months.
No,
David,
200, almost. Anyways, yeah.
We left Paul Whelan behind. A decorated serviceman. This is a sham. This is Russiagate, another disaster in foreign policy by the Biden administration. Kudos on bringing home an American. But let me ask you a question. Isn't it rather timed well that a guy that can get arms and cause terror in like the Ukraine be released? Anyways, David, what do you got to say?
Well, Stuart, I have to tell you that this is amazing, and for you sports people out there, I hope that Joe Biden never becomes the general manager of any sports team because his way of doing trades is atrocious. Let's take a step back. Britney Griner is a WNBA star. She went over to Russia to play basketball because the WNBA can't afford to pay its players in such a way. So a lot of players over the 25 years of the WNBA have been going to Russia to supplement their income in the off season. And Griner traveled hastily carrying, you said drugs, and it used jewels, and they used that to arrest her. She complains and contended, and her lawyer kept pushing. She didn't mean to. She was in a rush, blah, 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 blah. All the excuses in the world. She got arrested. Now, she was in the wrong. She broke the Russian law. I mean, Indonesia just passed a law about premarital sex for tourists. So if you go have sex in Indonesia, for example, and you say, I didn't know, you're going to jail. So you went to Russia knowing their idiotic laws, and you keep saying, I didn't know. And okay, so you made your excuses, but you were used as a political pawn. And Putin decided he was going to stick it to the Biden administration. And boy, did he do that for almost 300 days. And he embarrassed the Biden administration, sure. But the reality is this, and this is the big thing that I have a hard time with. Step back from your political inclination for just a moment and stop supporting the Bidens blindly or attacking the Bidens blindly. Look at the story and forget if you're a Democrat or Republican. I don't give a crap. Here's the problem. You traded a basketball star for a terrorist, not just a terrorist, an arms dealer, someone who's just now endangered lives. That's what he's been doing. And that has been applauded by all of his Biden supporters. That Griner returning home mattered more than incarcerating a known global terrorist. And as you said very well, Stuart, Paul Whelan is still sitting in jail. A Marine who was also falsely convicted on espionage, has been there longer. But what is the one difference, Stuart, between Griner and Whelan? Stuart, do you know what the one big difference between those two is? Oh, votes. You see, Paul Whelan comes home. The story lasts 10 seconds. Well, they'll film him as he comes off the plane. Yay, hugs, kisses, blah, 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 within 48 hours out of the news cycle. Britney Griner, every time she'll go on the court playing for her basketball team, the commentators, the people around her, every time will say, she was arrested, she was convicted, but thank God she was brought home by Joe Biden. And that's going to be the mantra. And so, yeah, maybe Putin waited till after the midterms to do this. But Look what the political collateral, the political capital that the Bidens just got, the Democrats just got, is that every time she will be on the court, and she'll be on the court this coming summer, she will be there, and they will be nonstop. There'll be a book, there'll be a film, there'll be news cycles. The Biden,
Oh, another Netflix series. Oh, I'm
oh,
excited.
absolutely. There could be no better way to garner votes and recognition for the Bidens. And this is the problem I have. This wasn't done for altruistic reasons, although, listen, nobody wants to go to jail. I get it. And she was wrongly convicted. Lawyers will debate that. But the trade was atrocious. And here we are today. We've put a known terrorist back on the streets, and we're going to pay the price for it at one point.
David, I got to tell you, we live in the United States, or I live in the United States, you live in Canada. You got to understand that even there's a lot of the United States where marijuana is illegal. Most of
It wasn't marijuana,
Europe,
Stuart. It wasn't marijuana. But forget about it. She claimed for medicinal purposes.
It doesn't matter. That's still marijuana. It doesn't matter. It's marijuana, whether it's medicinal or not. And by the way, it is illegal in literally most of the European hemisphere, with only rare exceptions that are very, very, very strict in Finland, Germany, United Kingdom, and in a wonderful place called Morocco. In the
Morocco's not in
broader
Europe,
part,
that's okay.
yeah, it's Western Northern Africa. But again, North Africa as well. It's illegal almost everywhere. I mean, they're mostly Muslim countries. But it's illegal in many of the United States of America. Illegal. It doesn't matter. But the bottom line is, she didn't think she was going to get caught and was trying to get away with it. That to me symbolizes someone that isn't a martyr and isn't a victim. She is someone who did it at her own apparel. And to be honest with you, I'm happy we brought the American back, because I don't think anyone sucks to being a Russian or Mexican. Not that Mexican and Russian jails are equal, but no one deserves to be in jail in a foreign country and be used as a political pawn. It doesn't matter. But this woman is guilty of what she's been accused of. She traveled to a foreign country with a narcotic, period. End of discussion. They left a serviceman, Paul Whelan, behind. Their statement that, Russia wasn't going to budge, in my opinion, that is not the truth.
Well,
the fortitude of the Biden administration, right, was looking for the vote from the LGBTQIQ. They're looking for the gay rights activists, the women's activists, the marijuana activists. That Biden was their man. The same way he talked about giving free college tuition, which is now blown up.
Stuart, but it goes further than that, okay? And it's just a question of one more example of failed foreign relations. Vladimir Putin took advantage of a sleepy United States to invade Ukraine. You have North Korea firing rockets because they're taking advantage of a sleepy United States. Joe Biden went back to Iran on his hands and knees, begging to renegotiate with Iran for this nuclear deal on his hands and knees, and it's an embarrassment to the United States. The withdrawal from Afghanistan. Now, there's a story that was running in parallel that, of course, doesn't get a lot of attention, Stuart, because everybody's talking about Britney Griner. Is Xi Jinping was in Saudi Arabia signing deals. Now, this reminds me of the Obama administration, who alienated his allies, and Israel, India, China, Russia got together and created all these deals because the United States abandoned its allies on a foreign scale, not just economically, but also militarily. Well, guess what? Xi Jinping is in Saudi Arabia negotiating deals, while while America is excited about Britney Griner coming home. Pay attention, folks. Your president is throwing America so far under the world scale bus. It's unbelievable. His decisions, and you've said it, Stuart, numerous times in his 40-year career, has consistently been on the wrong side. Well, here he is again, trying to garner votes for the Dems in 2024 by doing what? Trading for a basketball star. Not smart foreign relations. That, to me, is fascinating.
David, again, I'm happy that we brought an American home. I'm always happy, but not at the sacrifice of leaving an American behind. A trade where Russia's getting into the winter, the measures of ostracizing them in the world stage. It wasn't the time to let the man who is responsible for hundreds of thousands of deaths around the world and Americans alike to let loose under Vladimir Putin. This to me was giving Vladimir Putin a license to kill and murder more people. The Democrats say they want to stand with Ukraine, but they just let the number one terrorist free to run havoc. Do you think he doesn't owe Putin a gladiator's worth of blood?
Funny? But isn't it funny that the media still wants to bring up Trump-Russia collusion? But they're not looking at this story in any way, shape, or form, not as a collusion. That's not it. It was a calamity, as a complete disaster. I mean, let's be realistic here, folks. You know, there are countries who negotiate with terrorists. There isn't a choice. We've seen this in world history, whether it's the United Kingdom dealing with, the IRA, Israel's dealing with its terrorists. Unfortunately, you have to do deals sometimes with the devil, and it's not pretty. I get it. But there are also times that you got to step back and take the emotion out of the negotiation. Of course, George, you're 100% right. Bring home a person is wrongly convicted, and let's put that in quotation. You're right. Let's bring her home. I had no issue about bringing Britney Griner home, and I didn't mean leave her incarcerated in the jail. What I'm saying is, take the emotion out, because governments should not be emotional. Governments have to be tactical and strategic. And in this case, the strategy was predicated on votes, not about global affairs. And this is what I've been harping on. If you are going to negotiate with Putin and you are playing literally Russian roulette, no pun intended, you just put the bullet in your head. Okay? That's what you just did. You gave Putin pure power, more ammunition. He gave Putin all the opportunity to now fleece the United States again. He's going to do it again, because once you get a taste of your weak enemy, you go do it again. And that's why this was not an emotional move. It shouldn't have been a vote-related move. It should have been a tactical move. And that, Stuart, is why I am pissing on Joe Biden this afternoon, because you know what? This is going to come back to haunt America for years to come.
I just want to leave with this note. When President Barack Obama was in the decision room making the call about should he or should he not let SEAL Team 6 go in and take out Osama bin Laden, the one request Joe Biden had from Obama is, let me be the last person you ask for advice. Do you know what Joe Biden told Barack Obama? Don't do it. So, David, like I said, in 40 years, going on 50, the Bidens have sifted the U.S. government, the U.S. people, and everyone he possibly can by using proxies like his brother, son, and family extended. David, this man is not equipped to be president of the United States. He was voted in legitimately. But David, I hope we can survive the last 2 years. Guys, that wraps up our quarter hour. We're out of here.
We're done for Friday.
I know. And we're back here on Monday. David and I are going to come up with stuff. Kristen Sinema from Arizona fled the wonderful Democratic Party last night.
Can't wait to hear the fallout. Let's talk about that. That fallout's going to be really interesting. And folks, a lot of stories happening out there. Hey, if you haven't heard us this week, it's because we've had a technical issue with our podcasts. We should be able to fix it today to be able to download it automatically. And for that, and ladies and gentlemen, just spread the word. Spread the word about the Rant Network, please, on Facebook, on Twitter. We don't care where you like us and love us. Just spread the word. We're looking forward to hearing from many, many more of you as the thousands and thousands of you out there continue to listen to the Rant Network. We really appreciate it. Have yourself a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Stuart, let's say goodbye.
Goodbye.